Yes. All right, people. Thank God it's Monday. I don't like Mondays, but it is what it is. Game 6. Now it's high time we talk about Chelsea tonight. Chelsea the board. All right. Beautiful Monday from here, live and direct. I tell you, live and direct from our studio. You know what I mean? Come on. It is what it is. Back again, everybody. This is the Dawn of Sport Entertainment. You know what I mean? This is Monday Sport Review Show. Let's talk about the review. Let's talk about the results. I'm talking about Game Week 6. This is a channel where you get everything possible. We're going to talk about it. We talked about many issues in the world of sport. All right. You know what are you going to do? Let me tell you what to do quickly. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like on the video. Share this video. Let's do this. We're all together in this. I have in the studio. I'm telling you, not me alone. Not always me. I'm not alone on the studio, on this show. I have people. I have massive people. It is what it is. It is what it is. Back again. Where do we start from? Now, today we're going to talk about Chelsea. Forget about it. Nobody's holding me down. I want to talk about Chelsea tonight. What is going on? music. This is how we do it. This is how we roll. I tell you, you can't find it anywhere. This kind of show, I'm telling you, this is absolutely different. Let me call on this guy straight away, all the way, far away. You know what I mean? Okwe Adebari, can you talk to me? Okwe, what's going on, bro? You're welcome to the show, live and direct.
The Don, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on ISTV. I've been gone for too long, but it's good to be back. I mean, what a time to be back. The world of football is on fire currently, and there's no better place to be today than ISTV.
I tell you, massive, big up, massive. Smash the like on the video for this great man. He's an Arsenal fan to the core, to the bone, to the flesh. I'm talking about Okwe Adebari. Follow him on Instagram at Okwe Adebari. It is what it is. Let me welcome this. I don't have Arsenal fan, but I tell you, Okwe, is the game ended 2-2. But we'll talk about it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I'm sure you're all disappointed. But let me welcome this man. Also, Nubian Prince, talk to me. The match ended 2-2. You're welcome on to
the Don. Good evening. Painful.
I know.
No reason why Arsenal didn't win that game. Poor finishing, and of course, injury dominated, but I'm not going to give that excuse. I will just say that Jorginho messed up. He messed up. I mean, that's what happens when you have a wrong player. Because it was just inexcusable. There's no way you can explain. What was he doing? He beat that too much on the ball, but it's what it is.
He wants to dribble, He wants to do like this.
No, he was not trying to dribble. There was nobody on for him to dribble. He was just caught. He was caught in two words. His mind was tightened on there. I mean, he should have done the easier route. Just pass to Ben White and recycle. What was he thinking?
I will ask him. Don't worry. You're welcome to the show. Joe Calara. The match ended 2-2. Let me ask this Manchester United fan. I'm talking about Kunle. Kunle, you are live. I'm telling you. The match ended 1-0 in favor of Manchester United. You're welcome to the show, Kunle. I believe.
Good evening, The Don. Good evening to Nubian Prince and Okwe and everyone around watching us all over the world. Yes, Manchester United got 3 points on board. I don't want to care that Burnley play were the better team. 3 points is all that matters. 3 points is all that, and we got it. Simple.
You're welcome once again, bro. You're welcome.
Thanks, boss.
All right, you're welcome. I'm telling you, let me welcome this another gentleman as well too. His name is Robbie. Robbie, what's going on, bro? I don't even know which team you're supporting right now, but it is what it is. Enyimba United.
Hello. Remo Stars. We are with Remo Stars, and the MPFL is starting this weekend. So I think with that news, I am very, very happy because we're going to have local football right here in Nigeria, and it is a good one to see. Talking about last week, it was a wonderful weekend. I think it is one of the weekends I enjoyed the most. For the North London Derby, it lived up to the hype. We saw an own goal, we saw a penalty, and we saw 2 beautiful goals scored yesterday. Yes, unfortunately, Arsenal was the better team. They could have more or less walked away with all 3 points, but Spurs showed character yesterday, and they were also very fortunate to have been able to equalize almost immediately to get a point from that encounter. For United, I think United were lucky that have gotten all 3 points. I know Uncle Kole is waiting for me, and of course Chelsea. What is going on with that Chelsea? How can you spend 1 billion?
Who is rooting for you? I don't understand.
You spend 1 billion and you're not able to get a return on investment. You pay now.
All right. Another Chelsea fan. Oh, is a Napoleon fan. Let me welcome him. Sheye Ogidiora, talk to me. Chelsea in the mud. How are you feeling? You're welcome to the show.
Good evening, The Don. It's great to be back. Hello to Okwe, to Nubian Prince, to Kunle, to Robbie, and to all our listeners. It's great to be back. Napoli are actually not winning as well. They are also not playing well currently. The change in management has actually had a part to play in the disappointing start to the season. And as for Chelsea, it just at this point
it is what it is.
Laughable because every game just seems to be the same. It seems like we are watching the same match every time. They play well in parts. They can't finish their chances. They make mistakes and they concede. So I guess we'll go into all that during the show. But yeah, amazing weekend of football.
All right, welcome once again. Let me welcome this woman. This woman love Manchester United to the blood, to the bone, to the flesh. Margaret, you are joining us on this one. You're welcome to the show. Margaret, talk to me. What's going on? Manchester United, make that 1-0. You're welcome.
Yeah. United were actually lucky. They were extremely lucky, I must say.
Absolutely.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, guys. And Sheye, it's nice having you back. Yeah, did I tell you I've been asking after you?
Oh.
Like every week.
Sheye, where you go now? Sheye, where you go?
Good evening. Good evening to you guys watching us. It's nice to be here.
All right. You're welcome to the show. It's game week 6. Let me tell you something. That's the results shown on the board right there. I tell you, people, it is what it is. Crystal Palace with Fulham. It ended 0-0. Likewise, Luton welcome the Wolves, and it also went in a draw. Manchester City 6-6. I'm telling you, Wolves can't stop Manchester City. I think Manchester United will do that very soon. I'm telling you, let's watch out. Manchester United and Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Brentford were down with 3 goals from Everton. The match ended 3-1. Likewise, Manchester United, the best club in EPL at the moment. I'm telling you, Manchester United make it 1-0. Why they laugh? Why they laugh? All right, on Sunday, North London Derby, I tell you, the match ended 2-2. I know Adebari will be fuming, will be so disappointed the match ended 2-2. And I'm telling you, 3-1 ended the match between Brighton and Bournemouth. Over to Chelsea, the same thing happened to Chelsea. Chelsea were down with a man. Gusto got a red card. And also the match ended in favor of Aston Villa 1-0. I'm telling you, at Anfield, the match ended 3-1 in favor of Liverpool 3 and West Ham 1. I am telling you, the massacre at Sheffield United end. Newcastle battered them with 8 goals. 8 goals. That was a massive game as well. So, and also moving on to, let me quickly see whether we have that's the EPL table. Manchester City 18 points, no doubt about it, followed by Liverpool 16 points, Brighton 15, and not Tottenham and Arsenal share the same points, 14 points. Where is Manchester United? Number 9. I tell you, we'll be back, no shakings. And also Chelsea, I don't even know where they are. Oh, number 14. It is what it is. All right, let's start off with this game, the EPL. Also, these are the hits and miss. Let's start with this game. Okay, I'm going to start up with you. What happened at that game? The match ended 2-2. Arsenal scoring first with an own goal from Romero and an equalizer from Son. And also later on, Saka had a penalty which made it 2-1. And also Son came back to make it 2-2. From your own point of view, Brian Okwe, you are disappointed. And why Arsenal are disappointed? Please tell us.
Yeah, and honestly, Arsenal happened to Arsenal. Let me just start by that. Arsenal happened to Arsenal. It seems to be a script that keeps on being played over and over again. And I'm tired of watching the same movie over again. But, before I go further in depth, let me just give kudos to Ange Postecoglou. He's a fantastic coach. You could see that Spurs came into that game with the right mentality. They were not afraid. They were not timid at all. Yes, it's a North London derby. You expect it to be like that, but you don't really expect Spurs to come to the Emirates with so much confidence, and playing the way they played. But nevertheless, Arsenal was the better team, as Robbie said. Arsenal could have taken the 3 points from it. I believe the turning point in that game was the first equalizer from Spurs. Once Spurs were able to get that goal, they knew, okay, definitely, there's a way we can work this team and we can get goals out of it.
Yeah.
And definitely an individual error led to the second equalizer, Jorginho. And I believe for someone of his quality and experience, you expect him to do much better. But, aside that, games like this is when I actually start to question Arteta. I don't understand how Edin Ketia played 90 minutes of football. He was the only person on that pitch, aside every other person that made an appearance for Arsenal against Spurs, that seemed not to be into the game 110%. Only Mikel Arteta understands why Edin Ketia played full 90 minutes in that game. Some of the changes he made were, it was good at certain points in time, but I believe Nketiah should have gone off much earlier with Jesus playing down the middle, so he could cause more of a ruckus, for the Spurs defense. But at the end of the day, this is 2 points dropped, and then when you take a look at this Premier League, it's the most competitive league in the world. Look at Manchester City, look at Liverpool, look at Brighton. Look, these teams are picking up points. Look at Newcastle United. So at the end of the day, even though we say, look, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but how you start also matters, because we're slowly getting into that point in time where each victory is very, very crucial. But the good thing is that they did not lose. They have a chance to bounce back against Brentford on Wednesday in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup. So hopefully, Arteta is able to, for once and for all, stop his experimentation and try out what he needs to do and stick with the winning formula going forward, despite the injuries. And hopefully, the likes of Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, and Trossard, and Martinelli as well. Hopefully, they will all come back in due time before Arsenal face Manchester City on the 8th of October, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm keen to that game because there's no Rodri, who got a 3-match suspension. There's no Ilkay Gundogan, who is now in Barcelona, and there's no Kevin De Bruyne, who is injured. So hopefully, Arsenal can take it up a notch.
Yeah, thank you so much on that. I'm still on Arsenal. Kunle, you can see Tottenham coming into this game. Kunle, I'm trying to with you. You could see at this point in that game, you could see Tottenham were not scared. They came for this game, and they actually had a very good game.
I actually find a little bit of what Okpe said funny at the start, that maybe Tottenham coming to the Emirates Stadium. It's a London derby. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur that I know of, typical Tottenham Hotspur, are always going to be pumped up. I mean, we can go back to the days of Mauricio Pochettino. Yes, maybe they might not be winning at the Emirates. Yes, there were quite some number of draws and all of that. But it is always high octane, as in high intensity. So the mere fact that Arsenal are having a 2-goal lead doesn't necessarily mean that it is done and dusted. And I kind of disagree with where you said maybe Arsenal being Arsenal. These kind of things happen. I mean, even Manchester City in all their dominance and all, we saw Kyle Walker make a mistake against Sheffield United.
Yeah,
that could have been it, and it could have opened the door for Sheffield United to actually come and equal. Yes, City responded back, but what if they didn't? It's not going to happen every time. So I think mistakes are bound to happen, and I think people are really trying to go hard on Jorginho, which I feel is not fair, because I think Jorginho has given good performances for Arsenal since he came from Chelsea. So using one mistake to crucify him, I really think that is unfair.
All right, you're welcome to the show. Look at the stats right there. Are you disappointed? The possession. I mean, I think Tottenham had a very good game, and considering the fact that people have already said, Arsenal is going to beat them. Most of your fans, I mean, they all said, that was 3 points. But looking at this game, were you disappointed at the end of the game?
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Good to be on the show today. And for me, I love stats. I'm a stats guy. And looking at the stats, it tells Tottenham Hotspur, they came with a plan, and I liked what the manager did. He showed no fear. He stuck to his plan, stuck to his positivity in terms of attacking. But in the first half, I'm sure Arsenal were all, the first 40 minutes, Arsenal dominated. And it goes back to the proverbial saying that whenever you have the chance to kill a game, kill it off. Don't give the opponent any opportunity to think they can come back. And I think I kind of side with what Okwe said there, because if truly those chances that he created, one, the first Gabriel Jesus chance, an assist from Saka, if you had slot that ball in, great save by the keeper, by the way. The second one, Gabriel Jesus nicked the ball off, what's his name? The former Leicester City guy. His name has failed me now. He nicked the ball off him. Maddison.
Yes.
If he had just composed himself, pick a spot, I already celebrated goal. And when I saw the ball went off over the roof, I'm like, wow, or went over the goalpost. I was like, wow, how didn't that go in? And in Ketia, you had a chance, even if you didn't want to score, even if you couldn't score, just square play that ball. And possibly, even the one for the second chance for Gabriel Jesus, if you had just squared it to, what was his name? Odegaard was there, Vieira was there. If they just squared it, it's an open net, and we're 3 or 4 goal up. That in itself, you cannot take that alone out of the game. Tottenham grew in that game. I think the tempo of Arsenal dropped at that 40th minute. Maybe they felt, okay, we're in the lead, almost to the end of the first half. Let's take this lead in. And Tottenham shocked us because it came like a shocker. Like, nobody, if I cleared our lines well, that ball wouldn't have gone in. And second half, the first 10 minutes, we dominated. And got a penalty. Subjectively, it was a penalty, regardless of whatever anybody has to say. Because I know a lot of people were moaning.
Well, that was a penalty. Well,
yeah, they brought the issue of Manchester United versus Tottenham as well, of which was kind of the same. If you look at it, identical but opposite hands. Romero stopping the ball, and if you look at it, Romero, if his hand was not there, if his hand were not there or was not there, sorry, why am I blabbing? If his hand was not there, that ball was going into the net, and it was a penalty. A penalty was given. Thinking, okay, we're back in the lead, and Jorginho made a howler, which happens. It happens to anybody. It can happen to anybody. Arteta has come out to say they love him, they're going to back him. But looking at it, Tottenham grew in that game.
Absolutely.
And I blame Tottenham because White, what's his name? Rice getting injured, being subbed. They had the chance to win that game. We've not won in that stadium for the past 10 years. And that was an opportunity for Tottenham to have won that game. I don't know what went into Ange's head that he decided to substitute Son and
I also think that was a mistake.
Yeah. 18 minutes to go.
They have the chance of winning.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I feel that's a small club mentality. They were good enough with the draw.
They were good enough.
You see what was going on online. Tottenham fans were loving the draw like it was a win. And for
exactly, Arsenal, and they were jubilating like they won. They jubilated like they won, which is understandable. Arsenal that contested for the title last season with Man City, falling off from Man City, and going to their home, picking 1 point, it looked like a W. But like I said, chances, tiny margins. Was Raya composed? Possibly if they had been composed a bit, if we had seen a bit of composure in Arsenal, I think maybe the emotion was too high. Coming from the back of the PSV game, Champions League, 6 years after being in the Champions League, won outstandingly. You felt, okay, this is the North London derby, a derby that we have won 3 or 4 successive games. Okay, now let's go. Let's kill it off. The first goal came in, and I think the emotion got over with them, and that's what Arteta needs to work on if he really wants to make anything out of the season. But Tottenham, I'm not going to take anything away from them. On Friday, I predicted there was going to be a win for Arsenal, but it came up. They came up with a good fight, and they did what they're supposed to do. The stats really shows 53 to 46, so thereabout percentage possession. And I think that tilted when Rice went up, because when Rice on the pitch at the time, ball possession was 90% to 10, 19 in favor of Arsenal, 10 to Tottenham. But in all, what we see here is what matters. 2-2, the starts, and we move on to the next. And Okpe is mentioning Man City, and I've been telling Arsenal fans, the other group, Arsenal fan groups that I'm on, WhatsApp group and thereabout, you're taking your eye off Brentford, you're taking your eye off Bournemouth. It is Man City that you're looking in 2 weeks. Why don't you get off Brentford this Wednesday? On Saturday, beat Bournemouth before you start thinking about Man City. And this is where the problem always comes. They're going to go with that same mentality. Is it not Bournemouth? Is it not Brentford? And I won't be surprised if we get shocked.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much on that. I will not forget Nubian Prince, who is also an Arsenal fan. I'm sure you want to say one or two things, but I'm going to ask you one question, Nubian Prince. Arsenal, having drawn this match 2-2, do you still believe? Do you think Arteta made a mistake? Are you still confident in Arteta?
Oh, sure, Abba. Dropping 2 points will not make me, lose confidence. It happens to the best of managers. Best of managers make mistakes. I would want to comment about, people saying that why did he sub Jesus instead of Nketiah?
Instead of Nketiah, that's the question. In fact, I wanted to ask you: is that some of the error? The mistakes they made.
I don't call it an error really, because at that point in time we needed a striker. We needed someone in the box. Now, when you talk about somebody who was, that has this striker's instinct, I think Nketiah has it. I'm not saying Gabriel Jesus is not a good player. He's a very fantastic player. But when you talk about that striker's instinct within the box, I think Nketiah has it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was not. If you had left Gabriel Jesus would have kept, drifting onto the wings. But what we needed was that body in the box, and that body in the box, and I think Nketiah had that. So I pretty understand that decision. Then another thing I would like to say is that I feel Saka should have been subbed much earlier. The way yes, for me, because the moment Saka scored that penalty, he literally disappeared from the game. So
right away.
Yeah, I think it should have been subbed on. I wouldn't say maybe fatigue, injuries, and everything. It should have been subbed on. But the fact that he kept him, on the field, limited, because Saka couldn't be at some point, especially after that tackle, he couldn't play as well. He was walking a bit gingerly. Even that shot that this guy parried, around the post, it was a tame effort. I'm very sure that if he had put his laces, in the shot, perhaps he could have threatened more, but unfortunately,
that ball wasn't going in, though. That ball wasn't going in.
No, he could have.
It was not going in.
See, if you watch it again, you discover that he could have given that kind of feed. The shot that this guy gave against Aston Villa, Jorginho, that came ricocheted off, Martinez's head. It could have happened.
Yeah,
it could have happened. Just imagine that shot was faster. He could have hit the bar, and hit the goalkeeper and crept in. That could have happened, but unfortunately, he didn't have that pass. So I think Arteta needs to start trusting his subs. Players like Reece Nelson, players like Smith Rowe, you need to start trusting those guys. Okay, we saw the Ghana. There's no way you keep a player on the bench for weeks. Then injury will now force you now play them and you beyond at once. No, it's not going to happen. You need to start trusting them with 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Nothing would have happened the moment Saka scored that goal, right? Remove him, bring on Reece Nelson. These guys want to equalize. Reece Nelson has the pace, he has the directness. He will run at them. They will make mistakes at the back. Romero was on a yellow, and Udogie was on a yellow. Reece Nelson would have committed these guys. How can Udogie get a yellow in the first half and finish that game and not get another second yellow? Wow. I mean, those are critical things. Romero get the yellow at some point and just couldn't get the red. Those are critical things. You commit them. You make them make mistakes. Saka didn't do that enough yesterday. I won't blame him. It was the injury, and that was the moment Arteta should have noticed it. Bring out. Just imagine replacing Saka with Reece Nelson and play very 3 pacey forwards. Play Reece Nelson, play Nketiah, and play Gabriel Jesus. Let these guys run at their defense. Are you saying they won't make mistakes? They will make mistakes. And Arsenal would have profited from it. It was the fact that Arsenal were in this that allowed these guys to come at us. They sensed that they were not confident and they rode on it.
All right. Thank you so much, Nubia Prince. Because of our time, I'm switching over to this game that was played on Saturday. I'm talking about Burnley versus Manchester United. Ule, I'm going to start with you seriously. That was 1-0. That was, I'm sure you watched the match. That game ended 1-0. But I have to tell you, these guys I'm showing on the screen, I'm talking about that pass from Johnny Evans to Bruno.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's the best goal of the season.
No, I'm actually happy about. No, you see, I'm actually happy about it because, you know, there's this thing where you feel that okay, because maybe fans don't like the idea of Johnny Evans coming back.
Absolutely.
You know, there's this belief like he can't do anything good. He's going to be a calamity because he's on the pitch. You know, fans have this very awkward. Yeah, like nothing good can come out of him, so he's going to be calamity. And I'm actually happy that he gave a very wonderful assist. For you to even know how ridiculous some United fans are, some of them were like that Johnny Evans throwing that pass to Bruno shows how crap United's midfield is. I was not like, wait though. So when someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold will, from that right back position, will spread one pass directly to Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah, that one is not. You understand? That one is not. Liverpool's midfield is crap. They won't say it, but because it is Johnny Evans and it is Manchester United, it is crap. But I just like the fact that he was able to make impact, and it was class act from Bruno Fernandes to give Evans the man of the match award that he won. He gave it to Evans, you know, in trying to say that contribution, you know, it really goes to show that, you know, despite the fact that United are still battling with injuries and all, we could still actually grind the results against a Burnley side who, even though they've not won, we know what they are capable of. This is a team that can actually, you know, they play with the ball. They play with the ball very well. Yes, maybe the finishing isn't there, but you could tell that Company is trying to build them into a better side, into a side that plays modern day football that we are used to. You understand? So it was never going to be easy because Manchester United cannot pass the ball and all of that. So I knew it was going to be a tough day for them, but they were able to get the 3 points and with a well-struck goal, and that's all that matters.
All right, let me ask.
John, please show us the start. Show us the starts of this game.
Which game?
You don't have it?
No, hold on. I'm trying to figure it out whether. Okay, I'm not sure.
No, let's move on. There's something I wanted to say.
Okay, I think I have it. Is it this one? Yes.
So if you see, you know, you showed the one for Arsenal match, Tottenham. You know, I like the confidence of Kunle. And if we were to be on the winning end, possibly I would have said that. You could see Burnley outplayed Manchester United.
Absolutely.
Let's be factual here.
Of course, yes.
And I mentioned on Friday that if Ten Hag needs to do anything to get the W, he has to do it because one, it's going to affect the confidence level. If anything short of victory had happened that Saturday, and it would have caused a lot of stir, most especially among the fan base. But you see why the W is very, very important. You could see how calm it was over the weekend. We didn't hear anything about Manchester United on social media. Everything was calm, cool, and collected. And really, and that is what it's all about. I just wanted to point that. And if Arsenal had just, you know, be bold enough to have gotten that W yesterday, possibly the whole story, or probably the whole story would have been different. But it's all good. I like the fact that Manchester United took the W, and I like the fact that Erik ten Hag would use that as an impetus to see how he can calm whatever situation is going on, possibly use that as a silver lining and take Manchester United to the next level. Maybe their season is just beginning now. You know, this happened last season as well. The first 4 games were in total shambles. And immediately he got the win, stability setting, and he took it from there. So it's not easy, or it's not nice if we just sit at the back of our screen, 5 games gone, or 4 games gone, or 6 games gone, and we're defining the season of an entire club. Who knows? Manchester United can take it from here and go straight.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Even Chelsea can take it from here to the. We are coming to Chelsea. Margaret, I want you to talk to me. You know, we've already talked about the positive take, but let me tell you something, Margaret. There's this negative take I actually put down. Yet again, no style of play. That is my own negative. Yet again, no style of play. Burnley played us from the beginning to the end. They could. The problem is they can't score. That's the problem. They should have won that match hands down. In fact, Margaret, if you finish talking, the only person I'm going to give a chance to talk is Robbie, to actually analyze yet again no style of play. What do you think, Margaret?
Well, I'm also, like you said, it's actually true. There was no style of play. United were shambolic. Not just that alone. Like, I'm going to put it this way. The way United played, it was like Burnley playing an elementary squad, a kindergarten squad. Okay, coming to the field. Let's show these children how to play football, and let's just give them that goal. Let them just win, so that they won't feel bad. That was what happened. United were scared when they get to Burnley. Instead of them go inside, take the ball to Burnley, they were scared. The next thing they were doing back pass, terrible back pass. Which at the point I was so furious. I don't know how I felt as at that moment. I was like, what is wrong with this Manchester United team? There was no bite, no, it was just flat. Everything was flat. I didn't really see anything. There was no style of play, like you said. It was just go to the field there, run around the field, do whatever that you can do, and then bring the 3 points. It takes a moment of magic from Johnny Evans to give that decisive pass that gave us that 3 points.
3 points.
In everything in that match, in that match, I think nothing actually happened. There was nothing beautiful happened. I didn't feel anything going on there. The only positive thing, apart from Johnny Evans and Hannibal, I think those were just the two things I was like, okay, there is hope for Hannibal. And then Johnny Evans, he gave us that experience back. At least there's one experience. Any other thing, United were awful. Honestly, they were so awful that I do not know what is going on. If the manager himself actually do sit down and think about the squad, where he's getting wrong, or the players, if they are getting it right. And then Rashford not even helping matters at all. I think it is high time they stick him on the bench. They start him from the bench. It is high time, because he is not doing what Rashford needs to do. He is not giving us the Rashford of last season, though last season was useless, but we want to see Rashford play as a team, not as an individual. At the time, he needs to pass the ball. Instead of him to pass the ball, he's just trying to shoot. It's not every time you shoot. In a situation like that, you check whoever that is behind you, and then you pass the ball to your next to the next player there, at least, so that make an attempt to score the goal. But United, no.
Wow.
Burnley dominated from the beginning to the start. You can imagine, just look at the possession. It was so bad that I felt like, what is wrong? I'm just scared of Burnley. United can't even pass the ball. They can't even look at the midfield. The midfield were, oh God, it was something else. They can't even penetrate into Burnley midfield. United had to resort to playing long football, long ball. And that was the long ball that actually gave us the goal, which was actually bad. When are we going to sit down once again as a United fan and watch beautiful football, see beautiful football and attacking football where they are not scared of playing? But I just hope that we get to see something good in future. Yeah.
Margaret, I want to ask a question. Yeah. Would you want to swap spots with Arsenal? Can you take the 1 point? We get the 3 points.
Hey, whoa.
No. See,
all right.
Come on.
See, W all the way, regardless of.
You can't. No, you can't.
Points matters.
You can't use one result. No, Arsenal have been getting results. Arsenal have been getting results. Arsenal have been getting results. And United have not been getting it. So one draw alone does not mean that Arsenal are getting it back.
All right, Kule, you said you want
A
to
good player. I want to enjoy football.
Yes, I want to fight Margaret. You are looking for good. You are looking for good football. You go find them tire. Instead of you to take the 3 points that you can take now, you are looking. When you clearly know, look at the team, look at those midfielders that we put. You look, Margaret. You need, and this is my problem with Man United fans. You need to understand that some of these basics and rudiments, these guys do not even understand these things. That is where you will know Burnley is even ahead of United, because you can see that Company in the Championship changed Burnley's orientation, and that was why they were able to bring. Because if you remember Burnley under Sean Dyche, Burnley were a very pragmatic team. They will just sit back but look at Burnley against Man City. Even though Man City won that game, Burnley still troubled City a bit. It didn't make it easy for City like that. So it goes to tell you that if Burnley under Company are able to get good players who can blend into how Company wants them to play, they are going to be good. Before you know it, maybe Burnley could be a Brighton.
But they play very well.
You understand?
Sorry.
You get. So the thing is this: you're now trying to come and you should try. When you know the opponent you are playing, you should already know that. Look, it's just like against Brighton. You really thinking that United were going to team up and play against Brighton or go toe to toe with them? It wasn't going to happen. If any of our goals were going to come, it was going to be from the counter. So what you should be praying for in all those games is, look, let's get our moments on the counter and score and win, because that is how Manchester United know how to play.
Sorry.
So,
I want to ask you a question, Kunle. Sorry to cut you short. So with your analysis, are you putting the blames on the football, but Manchester United players, or Eric Ten Hag's door? Just one answer.
No, it's not. It's on the players. It's not Eric Ten Hag, because
it cannot be on the players. I beg to disagree.
Nah, it's not. It's not. No, Prof. No. It's not. No, Prof. No. Because you need to wait, Prof. You need to understand that a bulk of these players have been in this club. Let me chill. Look at someone like Marcus Rashford. These are the kind of things like Margaret said. Like Margaret was saying about Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford has played under how many different managers? How come this guy is still struggling for form and for fitness, and you are saying it's the manager? If these players, what players do is they are supposed to key into what the manager's ideas are. That is how it's supposed to be, but it is always a constant struggle, and that is what is happening with Eric Ten Hag. Don't forget that Eric Ten Hag is not. United are not even playing anything close to what Eric Ten Hag. Or have you seen United play anything close to what Eric Ten Hag played at Ajax? This man had to ditch everything. Someone like Pep Guardiola or a Jurgen Klopp will not ditch their philosophy. They will push it. But this man saw that these ones cannot do it. He had to go back to how they understood how to play football. So how is it the manager's problem, please?
I strongly disagree, because look, I don't know how many people will agree with me here, but if Roberto De Zerbi gets to that Man United side, these are not small players. These are professional football players that were bought with serious money here. It's Manchester United we're talking about here. So I want to strongly disagree that these players cannot pass the ball, cannot play the style. I think Eric Ten Hag is struggling to get his ideas across to those players. There is no chance.
Okay, so if that's the case, Prof, so are you saying that Louis van Gaal was a bad coach, Jose Mourinho was a bad coach, or even a Ralf Rangnick who is known to be one of the he's known to be the father of modern football and all? And these things were not able to pass. You now think it is
You're making the wrong comparisons here, because
you are deceiving yourself, Prof. To be honest,
I remember very well that Louis van Gaal style, Man United were passing. They were playing Louis van Gaal style. They were passing the ball. They kept possession. They did all of that, right? Jose Mourinho's style is not an offensive style. He doesn't pass the ball. He's not interested in keeping the ball. Eric Ten Hag and I think he's struggling to pass that across, because look at the players that what De Zerbi is doing with his players. Those players, if you cannot tell me that Eric Ten Hag can use those Brighton players to do what De Zerbi is doing with them. So the fact remains that he is struggling to get his message. You have Bruno, you have likes of Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen. These are very, very, very good players who know how to hold the ball. Casemiro, Varane, Martinez, Mount. All these players, they are very good. He used Anthony in Ajax. Didn't use Anthony in Ajax. He used Van de Beek in Ajax. So look, he's struggling to get his ideas across to Man United, and there's a huge problem for him because Man United cannot continue to get away with results. Like Margaret said, I'm a supporter of her. It's not about the results when it comes to Man United anymore. They have to. He has been there now second season. His style has to be implemented, and we have to see his imprint on that team. Hell, sorry, but
Prof. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
I just want to wade in here. Sorry, Kunle. Is it not the same Manchester United that came third, the one the Carabao Cup we're talking about here? Is it not the same Manchester United?
Yes, it's the same United. It's the same United. It is. But to be frank with you, that United team, for me, if we look closely, didn't look like a United team that had arrived. There were still a lot of cracks. Anyone who watched them closely with one another, there was still a lot of cracks. What just helped United was there was just this period in time where they just had this good run of form where they were just high on confidence and it kept going. That's a thing about United. Once they are able to hit that spot, that confidence kicks in and they keep going to the point that even if they meet City, I'm not saying City might beat them, but you would see that they would even try to probably make life a little bit difficult for City, and it's not going to be maybe a one-way thing. That is how United can do. But when it gets to a point where all these things just fizzle out. That's why you would see in games, it was there last season. They would start very well. They would be leading, and before you know it, they fizzled out. Is that down to the coach? These are things that have been very inherent, even from coaches, coaches past.
Kunle, I want us to now shift attention to this team called. Thank you so much, everybody. To this team called Chelsea FC. They are London. They are also in London. Chelsea in crisis. Robbie, do you agree with me?
I actually wanted to talk about Man United, but since you decided to take me on the Chelsea matter, no problem whatsoever. Seriously, because the truth is, I think we really need to look at things objectively and put them into right perspective. Margaret says she wants good football, and she will throw 3 points away. Kole wants 3 points and does not care how the football is played. And you begin to ask yourself, let me talk, because I was not interrupting anybody while people were making their point. Let me make my point quietly, and I will leave the mic. Mm-hmm. Now, you're looking at things in retrospect, and you're asking yourself, how do you want this team to play, and how do you want this team to make headway? Now, as it is, I said this from the first game of the season. Maybe next week or on Friday, you can play back what I said as regards Man U, that they will not get away with this kind of suspect style of playing against Wolverhampton Wanderers, a game they should have more or less dropped points or drawn. Because that tackle of Andre Onana on that Wolverhampton Wanderers should have been a penalty and nothing short of a penalty. But United got the win, and everybody thought, it is going to be more or less a slick season for United going forward. Now we are seeing the cracks, and everybody is screaming, okay, play good football and give us 3 points. Don't play good football. Don't play good football and blah, 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 blah. United will not play good football this season. Let us just accept that. United will drop points against enterprising teams and teams that will more or less take the fight to their doorstep. E.g., Arsenal, e.g. Brighton, Newcastle will probably beat this United team. Manchester City will beat this United team both home and away. Liverpool will beat this United team home and away. If Chelsea are more or less man enough or brave enough, they can also pick a point against United. And of course, if you begin to look at other enterprising teams in the league, they will pick points off United. Because right now, this coach, just like Prof rightly said, this coach has not been able to get his idea across to the players. And that, for a fact, is a problem. And I will agree with Kule as well. The kind of football that United fans want to see in terms of entertaining, enterprising, style of play kind of football, these players cannot offer it. So the better or the best time that United fans wake up to that reality, the better for them. Away from United, let me quickly talk about Chelsea.
Please.
As for Chelsea, I won't lie to you. I saw the defeat coming against Aston Villa, even before the red card. I saw it coming against Aston Villa. Why? Because if you look at how Chelsea played their last home game against Nottingham Forest, yes, they were a little bit brave in that game, but they were unlucky. And of course, the truth is sometimes you just have to cut these coaches some slack. The coach cannot wear a boot, leave where he's seated, and say he wants to come inside and stick the ball into the back of the net for his players. He cannot. The loss of the game does not even allow that to happen. So that is the reason why you go to the market to buy strikers. Nkunku is not available. You cannot drag this man off the hospital bed and ask him to come and score. Hence why they have a Michael Jackson that is in the field to get the job done. But the Jackson is not Jacksoning for Chelsea. Hence why he's busy doing something else. And of course, looking at, I didn't see the game really. And I don't know how Malo Gusto got the red card he had in that game. But I just said to myself, after I saw that red card, I just said to myself, Aston Villa will beat this team in whatever time that was remaining in that match. And of course, before you knew it, Ole Watkins was able to get the goal, and Aston Villa went back home with all 3 points in their pocket. Chelsea are going through a crisis. Injury has not helped them any bit. And of course, for the coach, well, maybe I'll be a little bit sympathetic for him. I think the man, you can cut him a slack this season, but hopefully next season, we all can come for his head. That is my thought as regards Chelsea.
All right, thank you so much.
Robbie, sorry, done. Robbie, but you don't want to be sympathetic with ETH, Eric Ten Hag. Because
I can be sympathetic.
No, he has injury.
Sympathetic with Eric Ten Hag because this is his second season at the club. As for Pochettino, he just came on board with this team. And the reason why I won't be sympathetic with ETH is because he had a full transfer window to himself to pick or buy the players he wanted or the players the club bought for him.
Did he not do well in his first season?
He did well in his first season, and he should build on that success. That is my argument here, sir.
All right, Robbie, thank you so much. I'm going to call on Prof. Do you believe, Prof? Please, welcome to the show. Is Chelsea in crisis?
Thank you very much. It was look, they were in crisis. There's no doubt about it. You know, when you're a big team like Chelsea and you're in relegation form, we're in relegation at this rate we relegate. At this rate, Chelsea will relegate. There's no doubt about it. So we're in crisis, and as Mauricio Pochettino has said, he was asked in his press conference, the owners know what they got into. They know what is going on in the club, and they have to give him time, which I think he deserves. Like Robbie said, he deserves time. And he also said another key thing that I strongly agree to is those players must grow up. Because what I saw, I think we can't continue to make excuses game in, game out for them. They must grow up. You know, Raheem Sterling losing chances, Nicholas Jackson looking very, very shabby in front of goal, not hitting targets. Though we bought him on form. We bought Nicholas Jackson on form because he was the most informed striker in the La Liga on the back end of that season, right? But he had a very, very shambolic start as well to his Villarreal career. He was missing chances, and then suddenly he picked up. Do I believe that these players will come good? I strongly believe. I believe that when all the players are back and with time on the training pitch, with a little bit of confidence and goals, they will come back. But at this moment in time, it is looking very, very bad. Very, very bad. I think the players have to stand up. The likes of Enzo Fernandez, Moses Caicedo, they can't continue to just to sit back and make and give excuses after excuses. In the game in particular, I felt Mauricio got the lineup a little bit wrong. He keeps using Levi Colwill in left back, which I don't understand. If he has to bench Thiago Silva, who is 39 years old, I think he should just be bold enough. He should be man enough. You should have the balls to bench him and use Colwill and Disasi. Just go for it and use the Benchilwell. Benchilwell came into that game and it caused problems. We need more attack. We're not scoring goals. We can't seem to buy a goal. So you need to put more attacking players on the pitch, as far as I'm concerned. So I do not understand the lineup. He didn't go with Cole Palmer. He went with the flat back, a three in the middle. Enzo Fernandez is not an attacking midfielder. He should never be seen there. He should be paired with Caicedo in the base and then use an attacking player in Kopama up front. You bought him for a reason, 40 million. So look, I think he got the lineup wrong. He has to take responsibility. And the Chelsea fans are becoming very, very touchy. Most of the fan base, they understand that we need time. Nobody's calling for Poch's head at the moment. They know we need time. They know the injury problems. But look, there's only so much that we can take as a fan base. We're a very sports fan base. Chelsea fans, we do not know how to have patience because we've been spoiled with success. So it's only a matter of time before these fans start calling for his head. He has to make it work.
All right. Thank you, Sheye. Over to you, Sheye. You watched the game, and I'm sure you're so disappointed in that match. Looking at the game itself, at some point you said injury and so on and so forth. Do you believe Chelsea they're in crisis?
Well, like Prof explained, Chelsea are currently in relegation form. To be honest, I think they've only won 5 matches this year. All year long, just 5 matches. There are mitigating factors. The fact that they've changed an entire squad, they've revamped everything, even in the club's administration, obviously, and they have a lengthy injury list. But I feel from the among the injured players, only Christopher Nkunku and Kanu Chukwuemeka are actually the difference makers among the injured players. Maybe you can say if Badiashile returns,
Rhys James as well.
And Rhys James, and maybe you can say if Badiashile returns, that allows maybe Pochettino to maybe drop Thiago Silva. I think that remains to be seen. Just touch on what Prof mentioned about altering Liverpool's position. I think the logic behind it is maybe not even about going forward, but about Chelsea. Chelsea are a team that lacks height. If you look at the Chelsea squad, they have so many short-ish players. So I think the idea is just to have one extra. Actually, these are things coaches consider. Because if you check, even
you're right.
Actually, they brought in players who are physical, players who are tall. Those things actually matter when you're setting up your side. So I think the idea is to have at least one extra tall player, a physical presence in defense to at least give Chelsea that edge in physical battles. But I feel going forward, you have to follow the recruitment really, because you can't rely on only Nkunku to come and solve your goal scoring problems. And this is why I will somewhat absolve the manager of the blame, because look, when you have young players, when you are building around young players, there will be growing pains. They are extremely raw. All the players Chelsea have signed, maybe apart from Nkunku, they are extremely raw. Even Chukwuemeka, I think he began to show some signs of taking responsibility before getting injured. But I feel even he is still I think he's still 19 or 18. So those players need time. So you maybe you can force the coach for maybe playing Enzo further forward, which I think is just rubbish and a very stupid move from the coach, from the manager. But I feel apart from that, if you watch Chelsea's games, they are actually playing decently well. But to be fair, on Sunday, I would have taken 3 points above playing well, because they tend to control games to an extent. They create chances, but they can't finish. And then going the other way, they make one mistake and then they are punished. So if you take away the emotion, if you take away the anger, you actually say that look, the numbers, the underlying numbers are actually quite promising. But the fact that they just don't have match winners, I think that's affecting their results. So players need to actually rise up and just take responsibility.
All right, Margaret, what's your thoughts on Chelsea? Chelsea in crisis. Margaret, can you hear me? I can't hear Margaret. Margaret, can you hear me? All right, I can't hear Margaret.
While we're waiting for Margaret, I just want to react to what.
What's your thoughts on Chelsea? Because
Margaret is here.
Oh, Margaret. I just wanted to interact with Sheye on what he said. Just ask a few questions. But Margaret, go ahead. All right,
Margaret. What's your thoughts on Chelsea?
Okay, all right. First of all, I would like to ask, we're talking about crisis here. What sort of crisis are we talking about here? To me, I feel Chelsea are not in crisis. Please, they are not in crisis. And I'm going to say for a fact, what is happening here is just like Shea said, it's just a total overhaul of the squad. You can't bring in a new set of players and then amongst that there are no experience in that players. When the likes of Cahill went to Chelsea, there was John Terry there. And even before John Terry, they brought him from the academy. They had experienced players who they understudy. And now you're bringing in a new squad to the club. These players, and then there are no experience for them to understudy. They came in, they play a different style of. They come in, there are no experienced player. Okay, for them to look up to, okay, to guide them and all of that. And I must say that these new players are yet to find themselves. They are yet to find themselves. So Chelsea, to me, are not just. They are not in any crisis, and they are just a project they are building. And for when you look at the list of injuries that they have, I don't think these players are just new players apart from Reece James and one other person there. So,
all right.
That's just my little bit about you.
All right.
Sorry, Didon. I just wanted to correct something because I know I said it was correct. When I said crisis, right, it's not the whole project essentially. The whole project for me is not a crisis. I mean, I've been speaking highly of the project, right? I understand what the project is. But when I talked about crisis, it's the points. This is the worst start that Chelsea has had in, I don't know, it must be over 20, 30 years or thereabout. So when I'm talking about crisis, I mean on the points on the board. Look, we can speak about the projects for all we care. If the points are not on that table and Chelsea continue at this rate, we'll find ourselves struggling. And that's where we don't want to be, at the bottom of the table. So that's what I meant by crisis. The points per game is abysmal. It's just abysmal.
All right, Ace, do you have any thoughts on Chelsea before we move forward? Kunle, Okwe too wants to say something about Chelsea. We have to talk about Chelsea. What can we do?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. We will talk about Chelsea. We will talk about Chelsea. We've been like, for me, I've been hammering it, and I'm just going to isolate. Oh, there is a go rush back to answer. Okay, sorry. Because for me, the factor I'm not going to take out of this is the money spent. Regardless of however we want to sugarcoat it, let's be patient. I am Robbie on one side saying we should give Poch a leeway. But on one side, you're saying we shouldn't give ETH a leeway. So my question is, where is the balance? I heard Margaret said about injuries. See, every team currently is battling with one injury or the other.
Absolutely.
And I'll take Arsenal as an instance. Yesterday, if we had a certain number of players in that game, probably our fortune might have changed and probably we might have nicked to win. But it is what it is. Every team is battling with one injury crisis or the other. So the thing I want to say about Chelsea is, I mentioned it. What the project is fantastic in theory. The owner, looking for loopholes within the FFP rule, giving players 8-year contract. I know we've had this back and forth in the WhatsApp group that if after all this money spent in the space of 2 years, they've spent over 1 billion. And please, I stand to be corrected if my stats are wrong. They've spent over 1 billion. And while Poch has been the manager, they spent over 400 million. Now, it looks perfect in theory, bringing young guys together, inexperienced young guys. Look at Jackson, for instance. The number of yellow cards he has had this season is more than the number of goals he has scored. He's going to miss the next game against Brighton in the EFL Cup because he has to be banned because he has accumulated number of yellow cards.
No, so he's going to play for that game. It's the Premier League game he's out for.
It's on the screen.
He'll be available for Brighton. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Have they changed the rules? Have they changed the rules or something?
Yes, I don't know, but I did see it. It was confirmed that you will be available for the EFL Cup game, but the Premier League you will be suspended
for. The information I heard earlier today was he was going to miss the EFL Cup and be available for Fulham. And now, if you now take in context, looking at the next 10 fixtures for Chelsea, we all agree, all the panel on this show agree that they are in a relegation scrap, because winning how many games in a whole calendar year is relegation. And even I mentioned last week, Bournemouth, I think they are toe-to-toe or a bit over Chelsea in terms of points accumulated in the whole of 2023. So looking at it, I would have loved maybe if you had screenshot the next 10 fixtures for Chelsea. So we look at it, because it's not really looking good. If you're finding it difficult to win a team like Nottingham Forest at home, struggling against Aston Villa, I'm not saying they're not playing well. Like Sheye said, they're playing well. But in terms of scoring, that's where the problem is. So the question now is, who takes the brunt? We know in football, it's so impatient. The next fingers, I mentioned earlier, if Manchester United are lost this weekend or drew, all fingers will point to Erik ten Hag. So right now, all fingers are pointing to Poch, regardless of however we want to, give him the leeway. The truth has to be said. And I heard an information earlier today or yesterday, and I stand to be corrected. We have Chelsea fans here, they can correct me. When Chelsea sacked, what was his name? Tuchel, the guy in Bayern Munich, Poch applied for the job. He applied for the job, didn't make it. They got the guy from Brighton. He came in, he got sacked. Poch applied again. So you can't tell me he wasn't ready for the job or he didn't know the pros and cons of what he was getting into. Because for that, it cannot be vindicated in any way. For you to have applied twice for that job, you knew what you were getting into. And you knew the football that we have currently is a result-generated business. If you're not generating the results, nobody is going to be patient with you, especially the manager. Even when the players, like we all see, are not playing well, i.e., we saw it happened to Jose Mourinho when he was in Manchester United. We saw that Jose Mourinho is a very good manager, but the players were not interpreting what he wants. He got the sack. It happened to the Dutch as well. It happened to David Moyes. So this time around, I can understand the empathy, but we cannot take that away, because we all said, Irish used to share the stats on the WhatsApp group. Money spent by Arteta. He has not won any league ever since he's been there. That's pressure. This thing, the job comes with pressure. And again, the pressure you're seeing, a player like Caicedo, fantastic with Brighton, fantastic in the season he has spent with Brighton, put up a Chelsea shirt, he's looking like a shadow of himself. So right now, I would say Chelsea, I just don't know how they're going to survive this, because really, the 10 games coming are not, it's not like they say in Yoruba, because I don't see how the next game, they don't have a right back for the next game against Brighton on, I don't know if it's tomorrow on Wednesday. They would not have a right back for the game against Fulham in the EPL. Maybe if Reece James come back, that would be so. But right now, I'm sure Poch will be scratching his head. Who am I going to use it? So, would I say crisis? I know it would be too hard for me to say crisis, but they are not in a good state at this moment.
Sorry to bust
and
in.
it's going to
take us right back now. He can play right back.
Who?
Caicedo.
Caicedo can play right back.
I think that's what will happen.
So Caicedo that they bought for Owó Tabua will not be playing right back.
So just to round up my point, I don't see it will be difficult in the next 10 games. It will be very, very difficult. I don't see how they're going to generate results from there. And I think from there, starting from there, the pressure will mount and possibly Poch will get the sack.
All right. Okay, you are too silent for this this Chelsea.
Honestly, my only contribution was going to be banter in case Sheye and Prof said something that was going to piss me off. But I must say, in the history of ISTV, I have never heard Prof so humble before. Wow. The humility in his voice was
very, very humble.
Outstanding.
Very, very nice.
Prof, humble like Nigerian politicians.
Look. I say it as it is, right? It is what I'm watching that I will tell you. It's what I'm seeing in front of me. I'm not against the project. Make no mistake about it. I am not against the project. I understand. Look, at the end of the day, I understand the idea behind this project, and I'm still sticking with it. And I don't think Poch will get the sack. I think Poch will get it right. I think it's just time that we need. It will get it right. I still believe it will. Yeah.
So that's how Abi, Chelsea.
Honestly, I could care less.
Don, I would have wanted you to just do a screenshot of those matches because I really seriously
right now.
Except Poch just want to maybe he's just going to go somewhere, get the magic wand.
Oh my goodness!
Maybe in those games, wipe it to the opponent, they slip off and they score goals. Because tactically,
which kind of analysis do this one now?
Because tactically, are you telling me this Poch will get a result against Manchester City? Are you telling me he's going to get a result against Brighton?
No.
Are you going to tell me he's going to get a result? Come on. What we're saying, it's going to be difficult. I'm not saying it's not possible, but they really need to turn things around. And I don't think Poch is not the elite manager. When we call elite manager, managers that have won the Champions League, maybe it was an elite manager that was there, I would believe he could turn things around. But not Poch. I know a lot of people compare this time with when he was in Spurs. It's all different with when he was in Spurs. Yeah. He had how will I say it? I wasn't in Spurs, but I think he had a bit of balance. He didn't have all these injury problems. He didn't have all these. He had players that were ready to stick to.
He wasn't under pressure either.
And thank you. That's the word, pressure. You're working with a team that have spent over £400 million within a window and £1 billion within a spread of 1 year, and you're telling me you're not under pressure? I beg to differ.
All right. This is how far we can go tonight. Is there anybody that still wants to talk about Chelsea? Because Ogbono fell.
So I just
don't do a beg.
No, Sheye, don't worry.
Actually, Sheye, what I wanted to ask, I forgot. Mabino, I wanted to ask you something, but slipped my mind.
So to put a bit of context into what he said, there's going to be a period where I think, in my own opinion, Prof and Sheye have exhumed the manager of what's going on currently, and they think he'll stay long term. But judging by the track record of this club, they love sacking managers, and I think this is the period whereby they're going to go through the serious test and we'll know what's going on. Between the 21st of October and 6th of December, Chelsea are facing Arsenal, Brentford, Spurs, Manchester City, Newcastle, Brighton, and then Manchester United. I think this will be the crucial period where we would then be saying, okay, maybe it's going to be a relegation battle for Chelsea or not. Because if they keep on playing the way they are playing, I don't see how they will get results in these fixtures between the 21st of October and 6th of December. And Chelsea might just be 19th, just above Luton Town.
This round of fixtures reminds me of when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, before he got sacked, United had this run of crazy fixtures where we played Spurs, Liverpool, then we had to play Atalanta in the Champions League and all. Before that game against Watford sealed his fate, because that was a game they should have won, because I think Liverpool was next. So I really think it will be a testing period, because this one that people are saying that Pochettino is safe, he's safe. If Chelsea doesn't get a win in this, it's going to be really, really tough, because it's the same thing that happened to Graham Potter, remember? It's the same thing that happened to him. You understand? The results were not coming under Potter, and they had to look for it, because it looked like Chelsea were not going to get out of the bottom half of the table and all. So it's really dicey for Chelsea. I don't know how, but I think Pochettino just needs to get something, because like I've said, it's not about style of play or anything. Just get the 3 points. That is all that matters. When you get the 3 points, you can now come and start sorting out your style of play later. Just get the 3 points first. That's all.
All right. This is how far we can go Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this one. I'm going to say, Okwe, thank you so much for joining us on this one. But quickly, Newcastle won 8-0. Are you surprised, Kunle? 8-0, Newcastle on fire.
I would say yes. I didn't expect 8, maybe 4, maybe 5. Yeah, but definitely not 8. And the fact that it was 8 different scorers that scored in that. Yes, and just to even put a fact, those 8 different scorers have scored more than Chelsea combined. They've scored more goals than Chelsea. All those 8 players combined have scored more goals.
Yeah, very wicked, man.
But I think it goes to show that I think Newcastle too. I knew Newcastle were going to come back because Newcastle too had a tough run. You know, at the start of the season, you had to play Liverpool, you had to play Manchester City, they played Brighton and all. But now, looking at Newcastle's next run of fixtures, it looks easy. So I think now all those points that they've lost, I think they are going to start accumulating it now.
Bro, getting a win this season, come on. See, when you get the win, it doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't.
I'm telling you, he's on this one of we were better. See, look at Man United. Man United had 20-something% possession against Burnley. I don't care. I'm not looking at it. We just got the 3 points.
Exactly. The possession didn't give Burnley any points on the board.
Exactly. They are 19th. So exactly. You understand.
So that's why when I hear people criticizing Arteta, when I hear the likes of criticizing Arteta that the way Arsenal was last season is not the way we are. See, just get. I know right now Arsenal is still on the 3rd gear, or maybe I would say 2nd gear, because gear is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the highest. So I would say Arsenal is still in their 2nd gear. They've not even navigated into the 3rd gear. And out of 6 games, you've racked up 14 points, which I know as compared to last season, that was not where we were rather. But looking at what has happened this season alone, it's only Man City that have gone that immaculate record, and everybody has just been struggling because you can't compare last season with this season. Last season was last season. Yes, there are pointers where you could say, Arteta, you've done XYZ wrong, but so far the brother at least goes over the line with the W without even playing well. States a lot. For me, I'm always for the W, regardless of how the game goes.
The Premier League for me is even tough this season. All the smaller teams are look at Brighton, look at Brentford, look at Fulham. Even Burnley. Look at how Burnley are playing. So I think it goes to show that I think each team in the Premier League, they are being well coached, kind of. So even the teams that we call smaller teams, you can't say you want to make a mistake against them and you think you need to play well. So every point really counts. Now you need to work extra hard now to get results. It's not easy. Look at Newcastle United today. Newcastle used to battle relegation some years back. Now look at where they are. So it just makes making the top 4, making Europe, making the top 10 has just become extra hard now for everybody. So every point counts at this stage. It really counts.
All right, this is how far we can go over the weekend. This La Liga table, you could see it right there on the screen. Barcelona with 16 points. Girona, 16 points. Real Madrid 15. Wow, things are happening in La Liga. I'm telling you, this Girona, they are not taking it easy at all. And over the weekend, Real Madrid lost to Atletico Madrid 3-1. That game was fantastic. That makes Real Madrid to be in 3rd position. Over the weekend, that's the result for La Liga. Looking at Bundesliga, I think Kane scored an hat-trick.
Yes,
he scored an hat-trick and 2 assists.
It seems this guy is not taking it anywhere he goes. It's empty. You know, this guy is on fire. That's Harry Kane. That's why.
How many goals is Boniface on?
Boniface has 8 goals and 3 assists.
No, Oyinbo will they spell our name.
All right.
They call Udogie. Apparently, the Spurs left back. He's Nigerian. But they call him Udogie. He's Udogie. He's a Benin name. He's an Edo name. Ishan name.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought it was an Igbo name. Because now Udogie na Igbo man they call him.
All right. This is how far we can go, guys. All right. Thank you so much. Okwe, thanks so much for joining us on this one.
My pleasure.
Arsenal will play on Wednesday. I guess they'll be playing on Wednesday. We've not seen your reaction. I have to tell you.
Man, like this boy where you see I'm knackered, I'm tired.
Oh,
but I'll try to play. Okwe has taken his eye off. Okwe has taken his eye off tomorrow on Wednesday's game and Bournemouth's game. It's Man City that is.
It's Man City. Oh, look.
And I pity Arsenal fans because we will get shocked.
It's not going to be funny.
Man City. Come on, face the Bournemouth and the Brentford first. Shout Man City.
All right, thank you on this one, everybody. There's this challenge going on right now. Is ball jogging challenge. You could join us if you want to win some of 200,000 naira. Just check our bio, check on Instagram, Facebook. All instructions are there. On to the next one, guys. Sheye, thanks for joining us on this one. This is how far we can go tonight. All right.
Always a pleasure to Don.
All right, thank you, bro. Kunle, one love.
Yes, the Don. Thanks a lot.
All right. Nubia Priest, one love. Anytime.
Yeah,
one love, man.
Always,
all right, thank you so much. Robbie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right. All right, thank you everybody joining us on this one. On to the next one, same time, to be on Friday. I think on Thursday we'll be having a show for it's gonna be on Fantasy Premier League. Will be on Thursday as well. So join us on that one. All right, on to the next one. See, this one is still going on live. Join us once again. This is how far I can go tonight. On to the next one. Bye.